Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got a small little tool haul today. I got a day or two ago. This is a full polish, 1/2 inch KV 44814 Craftsman ratchet. Date code somewhere in the mid 2000s, 2008ish or so, maybe. The Danaher Corporation made this one. I have two of these now, and I have a 3/8, need a quarter to finish out the set. I like it, different. Of course, this has been used. I'm gonna do a cleanup, everything. I do like the handle design on this. I mean, they tried to go a little bit more modern, I guess, at the time compared to their regular raised panel design. The 1/2 inch still, from what I've seen on eBay, I mean, they're still around $50 maybe. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, for the 1/2 inch. I haven't done much research, of course. I'm not. As far as the mechanism, it's the same as in the raised panel wrenches, 36 tooth, if I remember right. So repair kits from the raised panel more than likely will fix this, along with the same mechanism as Cobalt. I think Armstrong even had a 36 tooth at one time, if that's easier to get in your area. So from probably this point up, nothing different from the Craftsman raised panel. This point down, obviously very different design. I like it. I've used it daily. A few years ago, I had one of these I used daily. Works really good. No complaints. It feels good in the hand. I wish it would have been a little more thicker on the handle myself, just for my personal ergonomic beliefs. But I also picked this up, the Craftsman HI-VIZ Orange, #2 Phillips, USA, Western Forge. Tip's in good shape. It's not bent. Some silicone still on there. Like I said, I haven't got to clean these up yet, and I have enough of the new old stock screwdrivers to where I'm trying to find a set here and there and everywhere, regardless of how beat up it is. I've got to the point to where I can almost save the handle entirely and just replace the entire blade out of it. Just watching my Snap-on guy do it, and you know, pretty much the premise of all screwdrivers are close to the same. So I mean, just stick it in a vise, little pry bar here, and comes right out. And I know a lot of guys you know, have a really are starting to struggle looking for the new old stock at your Ace and things like that. And I know it's starting to get pretty dim, and finding them out in the wild like that, it's getting harder and harder. And you know, and especially these screwdrivers like this that aren't made anymore. I'm sure Lowe's and Stanley Black & Decker, they came out with the HI-VIZ green and black handles, and I actually have a set. I'm sure they might revisit this one day. Who knows? Time will tell. But as far as the Western Forge USA, as far as I know, that'll probably never be on a Craftsman screwdriver ever again. So a lot of people are wanting to find these. And it was before my time, so if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. I think these were the ones in the bin by the register. If not, it was the red ones. So I mean, these were really bought to throw away. I mean, your beater screwdriver, it was $1 a piece. So they're pretty sought after. I know of a couple guys selling them on eBay, and I know that prices vary, especially how many there is and what condition they're in. Like new old stock of these orange screwdrivers probably demand a pretty high deal, a pretty high price. So with that said, I'm gonna attempt to get this snap ring out. I'm gonna cross the floor. Yeah, snap rings are my worst enemy. I wanted to pull this apart on camera just to and in my defense, I'm doing this one-handed, so the snap ring I'm not usually that bad at them. But teeth of the gear look really good. I mean, of course, this isn't one of your grandfather's ratchets either. I mean, this is a newer style, but like I said, I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up. Everything works on it. The teeth and the paw look good. The switch is probably the best looking thing on the outside. Gear, quick release, all works great. I'm gonna clean up the faceplate if I need to go about replacing any of this, which I don't think I will. I have access to all that, so no biggie. As far as the Phillips, I have, it's pitted pretty well, so I have a hard time getting them, unless it's just a small amount of surface rust, which this obviously is not. It's way past that. I have a hard time cleaning that up to where it's maybe not new old stock levels of shiny, but doesn't look like it has sat in a bucket of water for 20 years. So what I'll end up doing is I got a couple of these. This is the first Phillips I've gotten. I have a few flatheads, and I actually have a red handled flathead put back. I've been saving them up, pulling the handles off of them if I need to, and I have a bunch of new old stock a bunch of new old stock in storage, and toolbox in storage, and so I'll probably just replace the bits. And I get, if you're in a pinch, I think it's kind of redundant in my opinion, but the new Chinese Craftsman, I'm sure the blades would fit in there just fine. Why you would do that, I don't know. I'm trying to keep this as authentic as possible, so a Western Forge blade going into a Western Forge handle, even though the dates of when they were made might be 20 or 30 years apart, it's still from the same factory, you know, USA the whole way through, and that's what I try to strive for when I do things like that. I don't really want to venture away from, oh, I'm taking foreign parts and making it, you know. And I try to do the same for ratchets. I try to make it to where if it's just seized up, pop it apart, clean it out real good, lubricate it, and if that doesn't fix it, I want to find genuine repair kits, Sears Roebuck, whatever. Depending on how old the ratchet is, sometimes that's harder. Sometimes it's easier to just find a donor ratchet. With that said, I try to put everything. If it's stamped USA, I want USA in it, and that's usually what I try to do. Most of the time, most of the ratchets I find, though, I've been pretty lucky so far. Even if it is missing, skipping teeth, seized up, I've been able to free them up, and that just goes to show the quality difference. I have found several of the 36 tooth teardrop raised panel Chinese-made Craftsman ratchets, totally seized up, won't work. Pop it open, it's just a mess. It's not even worth fooling with. And you get one of these. I have several put back and from the 70s. I have I have one from the 30s, and every one of them work. If I needed one, I can grab it. And don't have to worry about a performance issue. Even if it is, like this one, well loved and abused, I know they work, and they work with genuine made parts from the US, and I try to take a lot of pride in that. Everything that I have and have worked on has been with USA made parts. Now, of course, when I do this, you got your Harbor Freight, beater, snap ring pliers, but everything I try to use, I try to keep here. And with that said, I know it's getting really hard to find repair kits even for this 36 tooth quick release, which was a industry standard for a very long time. I know that parts are getting harder to find, and even where I live at, donor ratchets are starting to become less and less common. And I hate that, but in my mind, I try to justify it as they don't ever tear up, and they're keeping them in their toolbox because they don't have any need to get rid of them. That's at least what I tell myself anyway. But as for this, I can give you a roundabout guesstimate of when the orange handles were released, somewhere in the 80s, maybe 90s. And I know that's pretty vague, but like I said, that was well before my time. And I look forward to, hopefully, I'm gonna try to clean it up and see how good of a result I get cleaning up the drive bit and the shaft of the screwdriver. This I'm gonna see what I can do with some Scotch-Brite. I might, I'm gonna soak it in acetone, of course, to get all that old oil and grease out, and go from there. Like I said, I don't think anything's wrong with the internal mechanism of this ratchet. It's just strictly cosmetic. I don't usually sell my ratchets, but I'm starting to consider, some of these newer ratchets, like this one, that I have several of. I've thought about maybe reaching out and, entry-level mechanics that kind of thing that just needs a good quality tool, but don't really have the financial backing to just walk on a Snap-on truck or walk onto, you know, the Mack truck or whatever, and want a little bit better quality than just a Harbor Freight Pittsburgh. You know, they want something that maybe they can pass down to their kids, but not have to break the bank on to get it. You know, and you know, it's sad that kind of dynamic has all but went away. You know, and I think with SK going overseas, it just about cornered the market to where if you want USA, you're gonna pay for it, and I hate that. I always tell people, Facebook and such, pawn shops aren't a bad place. For my area, usually every pawn shop has this bin full of just sockets and stuff. So you can get quality sockets, USA made sockets, for pennies on the dollar. That way you don't have to step on a Snap-on truck. You know, warranting may be an issue, but then again, just go back to the pawn shop, scrounge around for a little bit, and it gives you something to do, get out during the weekend or what have you. And that's a way that I started. When I started wrenching full-time, that was one of the ways I kind of supplemented the Snap-on truck. You know, I filled the void of getting new tools by getting new to me tools, but slightly used, instead of spending money I didn't have on the Snap-on truck, the Matco ripoff truck, or the Mack truck, or something like that. Just food for thought. If anybody's interested in this ratchet, I have 2 of them. Like I said, if you can get past the cosmetics, if you know you're going to use it every day, it's a great ratchet. You know, it's going to be cleaned up on the inside, lubricated, put back together. If you know anybody that needs it, just to have a good tool going forward, you know, I'm more than willing to work with them on getting this. I have several others. Just trying to kind of slim down my inventory. I have a lot of duplicates. I want to get more of the more variety. You know, I have tons of raised panel Craftsmans. I have a couple of these. Quite a bit, now that I think about it. Maybe a little too much, as some people would say, but yeah, and hopefully I will be able to post at least a short on, you know, the finished aspect of this ratchet and this screwdriver. I wish I had more to show. Another thing that I did get that I didn't have with me was I actually found a 9/16, sorry, that finished my set. It's not the same date code, it's around about the same time period. My set was a VV. The 9/16 I found was a V inverted V, but that's for my daily use at home. I needed one. The one I had was rusted beyond belief, so I'm glad that I found that in really good condition too. It's always, you know, they make jokes, you know, metric, it's always the 10mm you lose. Well, for me, I use SAE a lot. 9/16 is always disappearing, always. So with that said, I appreciate you guys watching. You know, like I said, if you know anybody that may be interested in a decent hereditary tool, let me know. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.